Hey everybody, welcome. This is No Bones About Wrestling. It's Monday, it's 6 p.m. That means it is time for AEW Weekly. I'm one of your hosts, Asa, along with my permanent co-host, Kay Fabulous over here.
Hey.
And we're here to give you a look at everything that happened this week in the world of All Elite Wrestling. So first we'll start off a little differently than usual. We're going to start off with something that actually we were lucky enough to be at. We're going to start off just briefly talking about Revolution.
I should be in the waiting room.
1 second, yeah.
Sorry, I tried to turn comments on for me so I could see them, and somehow it blocked me out.
Okay, you're back. Stop messing with stuff.
Sorry.
So we're going to talk about AEW Revolution, which we were at with our friend Dylan from Last Week in Wrestling. And I don't know if you saw Revolution, but holy fuck, what a show. I've seen a lot of wrestling in my life. I mean, a lot of wrestling. Thousands of hours of wrestling has to be. A lot of wrestling. And it was one of the best shows I've ever seen. Like, top 10 show for sure. Very good show. So we'll just go over it kind of real quick. What was the highlight for you? Okay. Happened of course in Greensboro. I'm gonna go over a real quick stat. It was a sellout with attendance of 16,000. Let me say 16,118. Did over $1 million gate. And did pay-per-view buys somewhere in the 170 to 176,000 range. Which
I have another stat that I can add to that.
All right.
Because it was also in my news items.
All right.
If I can find it real quick. Yes. Their merchandise sales there brought in $349,000.
Pretty good.
And most things were sold out by like 9 p.m.
Yeah. So, Kay, what was the highlight for you? Why don't you talk about some of the highlights? We had pretty good seats, thankfully.
We had awesome seats. Thanks to Dylan from Last Week in Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Props to him. He got us our tickets, which is unbelievably kind, and we are very grateful.
Yeah, we live about 30 minutes away from Greensboro Coliseum, so he it's kind of an exchange, kind of
just him being the nicest person on the planet,
and kind of him just being nice, kind of exchange. Well, he stayed at our house. He bought the tickets and stayed at our house.
Yeah.
So,
I think by far for me my favorite part was the Will Ospreay and Konosuke Takeshita match.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was
just like mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Mind-blowing wrestling.
Yeah. That was the best match I've ever seen in person, definitely. I mean, we were close enough we could see the wrestlers' expressions on their faces and watch our social media, especially X. And I'm going to do more on Instagram, too, for some photos and videos coming up. Like I said, we had good seats. And I got stuff after the pay-per-view went off, Sting's speech as well. I got after the pay-per-view went off what he said. And I'm going to put that online as well. I'm sure it's already online somewhere, but it'll be online from us, too. And from a different angle, maybe, than you've seen it. So, yeah, that match was awesome. Getting to see, Will Ospreay, and not to sound too, pretentious about wrestling, but Will Ospreay is an artist in the ring, and Takeshita as well. And getting to see them so close, put together that match was like watching artists work, It really was. It was amazing.
I'm going to steal a quote from you. At Revolution, Asa turned to me and said, "That dude has all the cheat codes." And I feel like it could not be said like better than that. That's exactly what it feels like you're watching. Like someone who has unlocked some skill sets that no one else has ever unlocked. Like, at least that I've seen.
Yeah.
Astounding.
And Steven Chambers here says AEW can have my money. Ospreay versus Danielson at Dynasty. Yeah, that's booked for Dynasty April 21st. And we're going to talk about that in a bit as well. But yeah, that was definitely the highlight. Man, there's so many good matches. I mean, that was a 5-bone match for sure. The Sting's retirement match, 5-bone match, was terrific. Seeing Darby Allin almost fucking kill himself, you know, and seeing bloody his back with that glass or sugar glass or whatever it was, it bloodied his back. So I guess it was it real glass? No, sugar glass. He would have died.
Real glass, he would have been like,
he would have been eviscerated. But man, seeing that up close was insane. I was really afraid he was gonna die.
That was gonna be my second favorite moment. Was not when Darby did the stunt, but when Darby eventually got up after having done the stunt, and it was confirmed that he wasn't dead.
Yeah.
Because that was so scary to see. Super scary.
Yeah, that was great. The world title match was another terrific match.
The Christian Garcia match I thought was really good.
It was.
Just an early on match. It didn't quite live up to the rest of the matches on the card, but Garcia's good, you know?
Daniel Garcia, very good, having a good year. But I mean, just a terrific pay-per-view from top to bottom.
And we got to see Bryan Danielson live, which neither of us had done before.
Yeah. And that Danielson and Kingston match, those guys, man, they were hitting. I don't know if you could tell on pay-per-view, but I mean, you could definitely tell being there live and being as close as we were. Those guys were hitting the shit out of each other. They were not pulling their punches. You know, they weren't doing wrestling blows. They were really hitting each other, Danielson and Kingston. They were really striking each other. They were hitting the shit out of each other.
It was so loud that, like, I was convinced that somehow it had to be mic'd. Because, like, I couldn't fathom the idea that they were hitting each other so hard that it was that loud where we were sitting. But Asa assures me that it's not. There weren't, like, mics in the turnbuckles or anything. It's really loud.
Yeah, it was really loud. And yeah, the scramble match, Stephen Chambers here saying scramble match, big letdown. Exactly. I was about to say that. Getting to the lows of the night, which there weren't many lows, but the scramble match that Wardlow won to get #1 contendership, not memorable at all.
That's just a mess. Just
kind of a very, very average match. Yeah, big letdown. And he said, crowd cracks me up chanting meat, meat, meat. And then to mini meat. When did they say mini meat?
Well, I think when Hook went in.
Oh yeah, oh, I don't remember that. Okay, I didn't hear it. That's funny. But yeah, every time people would hit, you know, the crowd would go meat, meat, meat.
So like with the four big dudes, anyway.
Yeah, with the big guys. Yeah. But yeah, that match not great. Too many guys, just too much, and too many guys and nothing going on with 8 people in the match even. So, and then I hate to say it, but the women's match, Toni Storm and Deonna Purrazzo, I was looking forward to that. They did not deliver. Just a very average match. It wasn't bad, but it was just nothing. It was just a very bland match. It was a very average match for those two. So it looks like we might be getting a rematch between those two. I'm not sure. But they need to deliver more. And I really was looking forward to that, and it was underwhelming. But that was it, really. Just those 2 matches were the only 2 that didn't deliver, I felt like, the scramble and the women's match.
Yeah, and one match that we haven't mentioned, I think was super awesome. I think Dylan was not as big a fan of it as we were, but the tag match between FTR and Claudio and Moxley.
Excellent match.
Yeah.
Excellent match.
Excellent.
Yeah, he said it was slow, but I thought it was fantastic. It was a great tag team match.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, there were a number of 5-bone and 4.5-bone matches on the show. And if you're new to the show, that's how we rate things here. You know, 1 bone sucks. 2 bones, kind of sucks. 2.5 bones, average. 3 bones, good. 4 bones, very good. 5 bones, excellent. So like Will Ospreay was excellent. You know, that's how it works here. And as he said, Dax bled the hard way in that match. Yeah. But that match was very good. But yeah, a number of 5 and 4.5 bone matches. That tag match, the world title match, the Ospreay match. What else? Danielson Kingston. That's 4 right there. Am I leaving any out?
I don't know what you gave Christian and Garcia.
Not that much. But then the rest were like 4 bones. The ones that weren't 4.5 and 5 bones were 4 bones, except for the 2 we mentioned that didn't deliver. So just by like our ratings, the best pay-per-view AEW has done. Yeah. No doubt.
I still need to reflect on it more before I make that statement, but I'm pretty sure I agree with it.
Yeah.
I just really liked Wrestle Dream, so I gotta think about it.
This was way better than Wrestle Dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
And as Steven said, Ospreay versus Takeshita. Yeah, we were talking about that awesome match. Yeah, we agree. Just terrific. And like I said, it was the best match I've seen in person myself. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Very good. Yeah, just a terrific show all around. And they should be proud of the show they put on. Great effort by AEW. And hopefully everyone, turned it up a notch, trying to send Sting off. It was a very special night, of course. So hopefully that's what everybody was doing, and that's why we got such good quality, because everybody was turning out for Sting,
I can't wait till they start selling the DVD.
Yeah.
I want to see it again.
Yeah, I want to see it again. I want to see how it looks on TV, but yeah, I definitely want to see it again. Yeah.
And to be able to hear the commentary.
Yeah, it'd be nice to hear the commentary. Yeah. Yeah. So Revolution, great show. If you didn't see it, find some way to see it. And yeah, buy the DVD when it comes out, because it's a hell of a fucking show. If you're a wrestling fan, it's a must own. I mean, it's one of like I said, I've said it. I can't say it enough. One of the best shows I've ever seen, like top 10 show I've ever seen, and that's including WCW, ECW, NWA, WWF, whatever. I don't watch Japanese wrestling, but American wrestling, top 10 of all time. So great show. All right, let's get to the normal show here. Going to do a quick recap of the TV shows and then get into some other things here.
Wait, we forgot to say about Revolution, who won the Revolution Prediction Championship.
Oh, yeah. So in the prediction, we always pick the matches. So I went 6 for 9 in my predictions, which is pretty good. But Kay went 7 for 9 in her predictions. The only 2 matches she missed were the Christian Daniel Garcia match and
the Eddie Kingston
Bryan Danielson match. Those are the only 2 she missed. So she went 7 for 9. So she keeps her No Bones About Wrestling Prediction Championship belt, which you can see right there. It's the farthest belt from that one with the red on it. So she keeps her belt. So good job, good work.
Thank you.
Good work.
Now you may proceed.
Yes, Stephen here saying AEW needs a streaming service. If they put AEW and ROH together, they have enough content to start a streaming service.
That's a good call, dude.
For sure, yeah. And they would have a customer in me. That's for sure, yeah. I mean, they have a lot of great content, and Ring of Honor, they do great stuff too. They do some pretty good shows. I don't know how it's been going the last several months. I haven't been watching, but we subscribed for a bit, and it was an entertaining show. We stopped subscribing really just out of time. We just don't have enough time for Ring of Honor.
Yeah, we usually resubscribe when it's like pay-per-view time, so we can see the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dynamite,
March 6th. Duluth, Georgia. Show had a new opening. Had a new set as well. Pretty nice. I like it. I like the new look. It's nice to keep things fresh, you know.
And they brought back the tunnels.
They brought back the tunnels,
I
yeah.
like that.
Started off, Tony Schiavone was with Swerve Strickland and Prince Nana. Swerve said it feels as though people were rooting for him at Revolution, and they definitely were. He said he's going to get the AEW title from Samoa Joe. And then the world champion Samoa Joe comes out. Swerve challenges him to a world title match, a rematch. The Undisputed Kingdom then come out. And Adam Cole says that Wardlow will soon win the world title. He is, of course, the number one contender after winning the All-Star Scramble match at Revolution. Adam Cole then challenges to have the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, the Kingdom, face Samoa Joe and Swerve Strickland in a non-title match for the next week. And Swerve says, forget that, let's do it now. Cole says no, and then Tony Khan apparently says yes. So we do it right now. And Swerve Strickland and Samoa Joe win after Swerve hit big pressure on Matt Taven for the pin and the win. It was a decent match. It was pretty one-sided for Swerve and Samoa Joe. Gave it 3.5 bones out of 5. After the match, Wardlow walks out, and then Samoa Joe knocks out Swerve with a sleeper hold. So I don't see that tag team continuing on there. And then, of course, next week at Big Business, it's Samoa Joe versus Wardlow for the world title. And we'll talk about that later. Next, Renee is with FTW champion Hook. Chris Jericho walks up, congratulates Hook on dumping him on his head at Revolution. And then we see the Young Bucks, and they announce that they have 2 announcements to make tonight. And then we have an FTW title match with Hook defending against Brian Cage. Brian Cage at one point crashed through the barricade, missing Hook. Hook won with a red rum. Good match here. 4 bones out of 5. Hook kept the FTW title. After the match, the Gates of Agony attack Hook, and Chris Jericho runs in for the save. So we've got a Chris Jericho Hook team building here. Then we get a short hype video about the World Tag Team title tournament. Of course, the title's vacant after Darby and Sting rode off into the sunset with them. And then Trent Beretta, Chuck Taylor, and International Champion Orange Cassidy are with Renee. And Orange Cassidy and Trent are entering the tag title tournament. And then we get Killswitch, accompanied by the Patriarchy. He's facing Daddy Magic Matt Menard. And Killswitch pins Menard after a clothesline. It's a squash match. And then they're beating on Menard. And Daniel Garcia comes out to save Menard. And he gets double teamed. And the Patriarchy turn to leave. But then Adam Copeland comes out to attack the Patriarchy. He throws Killswitch off the ramp through a table. He puts Nick Wayne to sleep. And he blocks a low blow by Mother Wayne. And Copeland then chases Christian through the arena, through the fans, to the outside of the arena, where Christian Cage carjacks someone and leaves. And then Copeland says, March 20th in Toronto, it's Copeland versus Cage 3 in an I Quit match.
Awesome.
For the TNT title. And next, Renee is with Kyle O'Reilly, and he said he turned down the Undisputed Kingdom's offer because he's got to do it on his own. We then get a recap of Sting's last match. And then Tony Schiavone welcomes the Young Bucks. They announced that they're entering the tag team title tournament, of course. They suspend Hangman Adam Page from the Elite without pay. And then they fire Kenny Omega from the Elite. And then Continental Crown Champion Eddie Kingston comes out. Nicholas strikes Eddie first. Eddie goes after him. Matthew low blows Eddie. And then Okada comes out, first holding Kingston back, and then hits a Rainmaker on Kingston. And then Okada is announced as the newest member of the Elite. So a pretty awesome debut for Kazuchika Okada in AEW. We then get a recap of Ospreay versus Takeshita. And then we get Chris Statlander with Stokely Hathaway versus Riho. Riho pinned Statlander on a roll-up after Statlander German suplexed her several times. Pretty good match. 4 bones out of 5.
It's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah. The wrong person won, but yeah, good match. Mm-hmm. Then we get a Toni Storm over Deonna Purrazzo review from Revolution. And Toni announces she's giving out the first Toni, T-O-N-I, award Saturday on Collision. Mariah May is again dressed as rock and roll Toni Storm. And then Willow Nightingale and Stokely Hathaway are with Renee. Willow faces Riho next week on Dynamite. Willow is also going after Julia Hart and her TBS title. Tony Schiavone is in ring with Darby Allin, and Darby versus Jay White is signed for March 20th, big business. And then March 27th, Darby Allin is set to climb Mount Everest, which, a lot of people died doing that.
I thought he had already done it, because he's been talking about it for so long, and then he was gone for a little bit, so I thought, he just whenever climbed it and then came right back,
Me too. I thought it already happened, but no, it is not.
That's really cool and terrifying.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then Darby relinquishes his belt. Jay White invites Darby Allin to come out with the Big Bang Scissor Gang. He says he's not interested.
Bang Bang.
Oh, excuse me. The Bang Bang Scissor Gang. Excuse me. He's not interested. Allin puts the baseball bat up to White's chin and talks shit to him. And here's Steven going back a second. Steven Chambers says, guessing Statlander turning heel because Willow too nice to be a heel.
Yeah. I think that they're slowly heading in that direction, or at least they've been teasing the crap out of it. I don't know if they're ever going to pull the trigger. But you and your misspeaking made me think, how awesome would it be if Luchasaurus came back as Luchasaurus and joined the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, and that it could be the Big Bang Scissor Gang.
Yeah.
Love it.
Next, we get a promo with TBS champion Julia Hart and Sky Blue. And there's an open challenge issued by Hart for Rampage. And then there's a House of Black promo about Collision. And Mark Briscoe answers it and says he wants an Atlanta street fight. And Jay Lethal comes out and says he's bringing Jeff Jarrett with him. So for Collision, the match is made House of Black versus Mark Briscoe, Jay Lethal, and Jeff Jarrett. And then the main event is a non-title match. Ring of Honor World Television Champion Kyle Fletcher versus Will Ospreay. And it was fucking awesome. Will Ospreay hit an Oz cutter on the ring apron. Ospreay hit the hidden blade to get the pin and the win. But before that, Ospreay hit a poison rana, hit 2 Liger bombs, hit everything. I mean, it was amazing, the match these two put on. 5 bones. Terrific match.
And Kyle Fletcher hasn't been on TV in a while, and so it was really nice to, 1, get to see him back on AEW, but 2, have an opponent where he can really show off what he can do, and have that support there of someone he's familiar with wrestling, because Kyle Fletcher, so good.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
He's tremendous. But yeah, terrific match. 5 bones. That was the match of the night. That was the match of the week. AEW match of the week. Ospreay over Kyle Fletcher. After that match, Bryan Danielson comes out and faces off with Ospreay, and at that point, it was just rumored that they were wrestling at AEW Dynasty. But as we mentioned earlier, it is now official. Ospreay versus Danielson at AEW Dynasty. And yeah, Steven shares in our thoughts. Great match, Ospreay and Fletcher. Yeah, it was a great one. Best match AEW has had on television in I don't know how long. a long time.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. Maybe ever. Shit. Maybe, I mean, it was a great match. It was a fantastic match. So now AEW Collision, March 9th, Atlanta, Georgia. It was taped on I don't know what date it was. It was taped, though. Open up with Bryan Danielson versus Shane Taylor, accompanied by Lee Moriarty. Danielson won with the Busaiku knee. It was a decent match. 3.5 bones out of 5. Danielson, he did all he could. I don't understand why Shane Taylor keeps getting featured on Collision. I don't get it. He doesn't do anything for me. I don't get it. I don't understand. But Danielson did all he could with this match. After the match, Will Ospreay comes out and talks about how awesome Danielson is. And Danielson challenges Ospreay to a match at Dynasty, and then it's accepted and becomes official. So I can't wait for that.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
Why was this one taped? Wasn't last week's taped also?
I don't know. Sometimes they do that just for scheduling purposes,
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
I think maybe because the pay-per-view, I think maybe they just wanted to do like, have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, go home.
No.
Have the wrestlers only on the road 3 days. Sunday pay-per-view, Monday, or no, not Monday for Dynamite.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Wednesday Dynamite, Thursday Collision. So only have them on the road as little as possible, and not have them out until Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So Sunday out till Thursday, go home. Is what I meant to say. Steven Chambers says put Taylor back in Ring of Honor. I say put him on the fucking street, man. I don't know what I don't see what this guy's deal is. I don't see the skill. I don't see why he's on television wrestling. I don't get it. I mean, he seems like an independent, like a guy you see at a local independent show, Doesn't seem like a national television wrestler to me at all. Not one bit.
I'd say he seems like a mid-card independent wrestler.
Who?
Yeah. Shane Taylor.
Yeah.
Like, not even like the top of the independents.
No. Yeah.
No.
Just seems like a guy on an independent show. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Up next, we had the debut of the new Elite. It was the Young Bucks and Okada versus John Cruz, Ian Gray, and Adrian Alanis. And the Elite won. Okada did all the work. He hit a Rainmaker and got the pin on one of those 3 guys. It doesn't matter who. And after the match, Eddie Kingston runs in and gets laid out. Penta runs in a Venom mask, which is pretty cool. I didn't recognize him at first. He runs in and gets laid out. And then Pac returns. And he fights Okada. And he moves in on Okada. But the Bucks pull Okada out of the ring before Pac can really lay Okada out. Pac gets on the mic, talks about how he's back and he's a bastard and he's pissed and this and that. And then Eddie Kingston gets on the mic and makes the challenge for a 6-man tag at Big Business. Eddie Kingston, Pac, and Penta versus the Elite. That's going to be fucking awesome. Yeah. And up next, Mariah May versus Trish Adora. May, again, dressed as rock and roll Toni Storm. And Trish Adora, very skilled woman wrestler.
I love her.
They
need to move her full time to AEW.
Yeah, I agree. This match deserved more time than it got.
Yeah.
Adora hit a German suplex from her knees onto Mariah May. May hit Mayday for the pin and the win. 3.5 bones out of 5. Good match. Very good match for the short amount of time it was given. Mariah May looked flawless. She impresses me more every time I see her. She's terrific. And Steven says, like watching Toni Storm in WWE, Mariah May. Yeah. But man, she's terrific, Mariah May. She's now 5-0 since being in AEW. Pardon me. And then Toni Storm comes out. She announces that Mariah May wins the first ever Tony Award, TONI, for acting as her at Revolution. And then Deonna Purrazzo comes out, steals the trophy, which is a shoe. And then Purrazzo attacks Toni Storm. Luther throws himself on top of Storm to absorb the blows. And then Mariah May attacks Purrazzo, DDTing her on the ramp. The heels pose victoriously over Purrazzo and leave. So as I said, it looks like this between Toni Storm and Deonna Purrazzo is not over.
I saw people online saying they're getting tired of this Toni Storm gimmick. And I'm like, I love it.
I love it, yeah.
Give me more all the time. I love it.
I love it. Yeah, I'm not getting tired of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're keeping it fresh. They're finding new things to do.
Yeah.
Next, we had Nick Wayne versus Adam Priest. And at this point, I'll say Collision, they really got to stop making it the jobber show. I mean, they have such a big roster. They have so many guys we don't get to see on a regular basis, and women we don't get to see on a regular basis. Stop making it the jobber show, you know? We got the Elite up against 3 jobbers. We got Nick Wayne against a jobber. Come on.
For people who don't know Trish Adora, they might view that as a squash or jobber match, you know?
Yeah, but it wasn't.
It wasn't.
Nick Wayne hit Wayne's World on Adam Priest for the pin and the win. It was a squash match. After the match, someone in a gold luchador mask attacks Christian at ringside. It's revealed that it's Adam Copeland, and he has a big box that says Spike on it. But we never get to see what's in it.
So I saw a photo from the opposite side of where the cameras are.
Yeah.
From someone who was at ringside, and it looked like a bristled chimney brush, kind of. I don't know if that's what they're actually going to use when he finally opens the box and takes something out. But it was like a long, from what I could see in the picture, it was like a long wooden handle, and it had all these dark metal bristles sticking out of one end of it.
It's like a baseball bat with spikes.
It did not look like that.
Okay.
I should have sent you the picture. Sorry, I didn't think about it.
All right. And then Copeland has the TNT title belt, and he lays it down in the ring as he hypes up Christian versus Copeland 3 on Dynamite on March 20th. And as Steven says, sometimes Collision is like watching AEW Dark. Yes, it is. Where it's still a fun show. I mean, it's a fun show. I still enjoy it more than watching WWE, frankly. But they got to stop it with making it the fucking jobber show. It's not Dynamite is so much better than Collision every week, but it doesn't have to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
They could easily just have the same people wrestle twice,
Yeah.
very easily. Or they have, as I said before, they have a big enough roster. They could have some of these people we don't see wrestle,
And if they want,
Commander, some of these CMLL guys, Roosh, name somebody.
Preston Vance.
Preston Vance, yeah, LFI, where are they? Etc. The women that we don't get to see. Julia Hart, Willow Nightingale didn't have matches this week.
Red Velvet, Serena Deeb.
There you go, Red Velvet, Serena Deeb, yeah.
Not Rio. Hikaru Shida.
Hikaru Shida, yeah. The list goes on for who could be performing on Collision, but instead we get jobbers. So come on, guys.
And if they want to improve their ticket sales, so they're not having to darken 3/4 of an arena for when they film their shows, they have to change that. We had a conversation where if Collision came here, I don't know that I would want to pay money to go see that show if I know 3 of the matches are going to be jobber matches.
I mean, I would still want to go.
I would still want to go too, but most people who aren't like super fans, I think it would give them pause.
Yeah, you would definitely think twice about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and as Steven said, fans will not spend $100 or more a ticket to watch squash matches. Yeah. Yeah, this isn't 1994 anymore. Squash matches, people are past watching squash matches on TV. When the Monday Night Wars ended that. They had to, to counter program each other, the squash matches basically stopped because they had to put on people you wanted to see. And then they both started doing that, and then the jobbers went away because they both had to counter program, as I said, to put on wrestlers they thought the fans might actually want to see. But now the jobbers are back in AEW and in WWE.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, we've seen them. We saw them in WWE the last time we were watching it months ago.
Oh, like when they take old wrestlers and turn them into jobbers. I thought you meant like
No.
jobbers.
They have those. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. They have those. Mm-hmm.
It's been a while.
not as regularly as AEW does on Collision, but they have them from time to time. Yeah. Next, Mark Briscoe, Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, Satnam Singh, Sanjay Dutt, and Karen Jarrett, the Oddities, are backstage. And Mark Briscoe is fired up for the main event and basically just says, let's go do this. Then we get a non-title match. CMLL welterweight champion Titan takes on Chris Jericho. Jericho wins with a Lion Tamer submission hold. Good match, 4 bones out of 5. And after the match, isn't this where the Gates of Agony attack Jericho?
Yeah.
And then Hook comes in with a kendo stick and runs off the Gates of Agony. So once again, kind of solidifying this Hook and Jericho team.
Didn't they set up a match for Dynamite?
Did they officially?
I thought so. I could be wrong.
So next, FTR come out and enter the World Tag Team Title Tournament. And then the Infantry come out and enter it as well and talk a little shit. Up next, we get Mystico from CMLL taking on Angelico, but the announcers were calling him Angelico the whole match. So I don't know if he decided to change the pronunciation of it, because it is Angelico, and the wrestlers used to call him Angelico, but they called him Angelico all match. So
yeah, and he was even introduced by Dasha as
Angelico, yeah. So I don't know what's up with that, but this was a good match. Very creative stuff from both guys. Very much enjoyed it. I think this was probably the match of the night on Collision, honestly.
No.
I'll take it back. Fight. Yeah. I know. I'll take it back. But 4 bones out of 5. Mystico wins with an armbar submission hold. Good match. Very good match, though. And then the main event, House of Black versus Mark Briscoe, Jeff Jarrett, and Jay Lethal. Atlanta Street Fight, 6-man tag match. Tornado rules, meaning everyone is legal. And as Steven points out, yeah, the original Sin Cara, Mystico, yeah, very talented guy.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Very talented guy.
Very cool.
Yeah, he's awesome. I believe the most popular wrestler in CMLL. So in the main event, people get put through tables. There's chairs everywhere. Mark Briscoe gets slammed onto chairs. Brody King goes through a table. Almost everyone, it seemed like, went through a table at some point in this match.
Yeah.
It ends when Malachi Black pins Mark Briscoe after Black and Matthews powerbombed Briscoe through a flaming table. And what happened here was, unfortunately, they lit the table on fire, and they powerbomb Briscoe through the table, but then the sides of the table are still on fire, and the sides of the table fold in on Mark Briscoe, still on fire.
Yeah, like a taco shell full of Mark Briscoe and flames.
Yes, that's how it looked, right? Yeah. So they had to go and get him. They had to go and get him out of it and save him, basically. Yeah. So that was a scary moment, and he really could have been badly burned. It looked like to me. So
the medical staff was on him like almost immediately.
Yeah.
And by the end of the match, like he was smiling. So
but yeah, I mean, those are spots. It's like that's just cool. I mean, I love seeing it. Obviously, it was awesome. But like they shouldn't be doing that shit. It's just wrestling. We don't need to be seeing that shit. Because we could have seen something really terrible there. You know? Like we don't need to see these guys doing that for our entertainment, I feel like. Personally, you know. Because we could have seen something really awful go down. We were very close to it, I felt like. You know? And you can see Briscoe was scared. And you could see the flames were on him.
Yeah. I mean, he was like surrounded.
Yeah.
How do you do that in a more safe way? Because like that's the first time I've ever seen a flaming table collapse like that, where it folds in on the person and it's still flaming.
Yeah, I've never seen it that way before.
Do they normally drop them like lengthwise on it instead of?
No. So I don't know. I don't know how it usually puts it out, but usually it gets put out when they power bomb someone through it, but not this time. It didn't get put out. And as Steven points out, prayers to Jay Lethal and his family. His mom passed away. Yeah, that's very sad. And as he said, Sanjay Dutt getting hosed with gasoline. Yeah. So we almost saw Sanjay Dutt go up in flames. But the street fight match, I'll give 4.5 bones. That was the match of the night on Collision. But as I said, match of the week, definitely Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher. Great match. All right, and now we are going to our segment that we call A Closer Look, where we take a closer look at an AEW talent. And this week is going to be one of the newest stars in AEW, Will Ospreay. So, okay. He comes in at Revolution and has one of the best matches in AEW history against Takeshita. And comes in on Dynamite and has the match of the week, the match of the month on TV at least with Kyle Fletcher.
I said the match of the year so far on TV.
On TV, yeah. On match of the year on TV, yeah. Against Kyle Fletcher. What do you have to say about Ospreay so far in AEW?
So I don't know how to talk about this without just sounding like a blathering, gushing fan.
That's okay.
But I didn't get it really. I mean, he's on a level that I didn't know existed, I guess is the easiest way for me to say it. Like when people talked about Ospreay and how great he was, I was like, oh yeah, he's good. He's like Kenny Omega or Bryan Danielson. Like they're awesome. Their matches are good. I saw him at All In and was very impressed. It was my favorite match of the night. I can't remember who he wrestled now. Do you remember who he wrestled?
At All In?
Yeah.
Wasn't it Jericho?
It was Jericho. Yeah. And so, and his match with Omega, Ospreay Omega 2 that happened on AEW was amazing. But I feel like until Revolution, I didn't get why people were dying to have him come to AEW. And seeing him against Takeshita, I think possibly, and also seeing him live, he's on a level that I don't think any other wrestlers are on. I thought he was another Omega or Danielson or Zack Sabre Jr. And he's above them, which I didn't even know a level above them existed. And it does. And Will Ospreay is the only dude on it that I've seen. And I cannot wait to see all of his matches against all of the AEW people. Like, having him in AEW now, I'm obviously, I mean, we do a show called AEW Weekly. I'm obviously a huge AEW fan. But, like, I cannot wait until the next time I get to see him wrestle. Like, it's brought a level of excitement and, like, impatience and eagerness to seeing AEW Weekly again that, like, had kind of faded for a while, you know? Like, I feel like it's like a shot of adrenaline as a wrestling fan to have him on weekly American television. It's awesome.
Yeah. And like we talked earlier about his match against Takeshita, so I don't have a lot more to say about that match. And we talked about his match against Fletcher for a minute. We did, at least. And they're both terrific. But yeah, like you said, he's on a different level. And you know, Bret Hart always said he was the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. I don't know, Bret.
Yeah.
I don't know, Bret. I think the best there ever will be is over now. Ospreay may be the best wrestler of all time. I think he is certainly objectively the best wrestler in the world right now. I mean, I think it's hard to argue that, really. Just as far as being like the total package, being able to put on great matches with a variety of different opponents
and different styles,
and on the mic as well. Very entertaining on the mic, you know, very charismatic. Like he is the whole package of what a pro wrestler needs to be. But yeah, it's great to have him in AEW. Yeah, I can't wait to see where it goes. And they're already setting up like dream matches with him and Danielson at Dynasty, and you know, just the potential. You know, he versus Omega, Ospreay versus Okada, Ospreay, you know, and someone versus the Young Bucks. Holy fuck! Think about that. Ospreay and someone versus the fucking Lucha Brothers. Give me that. You know. Oh my God! Think about that. Ospreay versus the Ray Phoenix. Just that. I mean, just the list can go on and on.
The criticisms that I've seen of him from just people online complaining about things is that his like aerial skills are there, but he's lacking in technical skills. And so I read this before the Kyle Fletcher match, and I feel like at the beginning of the Kyle Fletcher match, it was a lot of mat wrestling and technical wrestling. So I don't think I agree with those comments. But I think when he's wrestling Danielson at Dynasty, we're definitely going to get to see that side of him.
Yeah.
Not that he won't do aerial moves with Danielson, but just wrestling Bryan Danielson lends itself to technical wrestling. So I'm interested to see what he's got, you know?
Yep. Yeah. We'll see if he can keep up with Bryan Danielson, who is probably the best technical wrestler in the world. Either he or Zack Sabre Jr., you know, probably the best technical wrestler in the world right now. So we'll see if he can keep up. But yeah, Will Ospreay is just amazing. He's just, you know, like Kay said, he's on another level. He is the Michael Jordan of wrestling. He just is doing things other people can't do. I mean, I've seen, you know, a lot of wrestlers. I've seen a lot of them live too, and you know, Um, I don't know, and the best live performance now I've ever seen in my life was Ospreay at Revolution. I mean, just was amazing. And I've seen Rob Van Dam wrestle live, you know, and that was probably one of my best performances I've seen until I saw Ospreay wrestle. But Ospreay is just, like Kay said, just on a different level. Just the stuff he can pull out, where it's just amazing.
And I think too, like unlike some other wrestlers who have really great movesets, like Vikingo, for example, we're big Vikingo fans, and he does like a lot of awesome stuff. But like Ospreay, it's not just the moves that he does; it's the psychology of the matches that he wrestles, and also his timing. Like his timing for hitting the move at the exact right moment to make it look real, and then also his selling ability. Like I feel like he's hitting. He has the best timing that I've seen, you know, like because sometimes there's like awkward like pauses between like I'm about to do this move and I'm gonna pause after doing this move before I set up to do the next one, and like with him there's just like a flow and a level of realism that I feel like is lacking from some other wrestlers. And again, nothing against Vikingo, I'm just using him as an example because he has awesome moves.
No, I hear you. Yeah, it's funny you said that because that's a lot of people criticize those two things in him: his selling or lack of selling, and his psychology. But the ring psychology is there. I don't know what people are complaining about there.
I read about that between the Takeshita match and the Fletcher match. People complaining about that. It's the selling anyway, and so I paid attention to it in the Fletcher match more than I normally would because I wanted to see if they were right. And I don't know if they're right and he was just selling more because they're close to Ospreay and Fletcher. But I feel like his selling was good. It was better than a lot of other AEW.
No, they're just wrong. They're just wrong. People looking for shit to complain about. You know, people love to complain.
I don't get that. Like.
I love to complain about everything.
I feel like we've been given this like wrestling gift, and like, how can you be anything but excited for it?
Yeah, I don't get that.
I don't get it.
Yeah. So be thankful for Will Ospreay.
Yeah,
that's the bottom line. And here Stephen Chambers says Ospreay getting an AEW title shot at Wembley, future booking. A lot of people are saying that. A lot of people are thinking that. It would be awesome. So awesome. See him get it and win it. It would be a little predictable, a lot predictable, but it would be obviously it would be a cool moment to see him win it at Wembley. You know, it'd be very cool to see 80,000 people lose their minds. You know, it'd be awesome.
Well, they obviously don't care about doing predictable things at Wembley because they gave Saraya the women's title.
Yeah,
and that was terrible.
Stephen also said, can't picture a Callis family babyface turn. Something's up.
Yeah.
Not sure what he means there.
I'm very curious. Well, he's part of the Callis family.
Yeah.
But he's like...
He's a face.
He's acting like a face.
Yeah.
And so something's got to happen.
Yeah.
Unless, I don't know. Because like Swerve is acting like a babyface, but he's still in the Mogul Embassy. And the Mogul Embassy, or the rest of them are acting very heelish.
Right.
So... yeah, I'm curious to see where they're going with that.
It's interesting, yeah. It's interesting. The kind of blurred lines with Swerve and with Ospreay right now, yeah. So we'll see. And with Hangman Page as well. Yeah.
Nah, Hangman attacked an official during a match twice and is suspended. That dude's a heel.
He's a heel?
He's a heel. He turned.
I see. Okay. Yeah, so just as I said, that's how I'll leave it. Michael Jordan of wrestling, fantastic, awesome. Can't wait for more. Will Ospreay. This has been a closer look at Will Ospreay. So now it is time for a popular segment called Where is This Going? This is when we look at things that occurred on AEW television this past week and we ask the question, where is this going? So first, let's talk about the world title picture. Samoa Joe, Wardlow, and Swerve. So Swerve on Dynamite challenged Samoa Joe to a world title match, and Samoa Joe doesn't seem interested in giving Swerve a rematch. And of course, Wardlow is getting at Big Business. He's getting a world title match that he earned at Revolution. So what do you see? What do you see happening here, Kay? Is Wardlow winning the world title? Are they pulling the trigger now?
Before I answer your question, aren't you kind of surprised that they're doing that match so soon?
Yes.
Like, I expected it to be a Dynasty or whatever the next pay-per-view was going to be. You know, like, I didn't think it was going to be 2 weeks after the pay-per-view on a Dynamite. But...
Well, Steven here says triple threat, Joe, Wardlow, and Swerve at Dynasty.
I don't want them to do that. Another triple threat.
I don't either. Yeah.
I mean, you might be right, but I hope you're wrong.
Yeah.
Honestly, just because I want to see Swerve in a one-on-one competition for the belt where he wins it. But it's weird to take the belt off of Joe on a Dynasty. I mean, on Dynasty. What's this show called? Dynamite. After letting him keep it at Revolution. But I can't see Wardlow not winning. Like, I feel like that's going to let the steam out of the Undisputed Kingdom. Like, I think if they want them to be this, like, super evil dominating group,
right,
you have to give Wardlow the title. And especially if they're then going to lead into that story of Adam Cole expects Wardlow to hand the belt over to him, which he made very clear in his promos. Like, if they want that storyline to be able to happen, Wardlow has to get the belt. So I think he might win it on Wednesday. What do you think?
Yeah, it almost feels like you're right. It almost feels like Wardlow has to win it here. It feels like if they're going to give us a decisive winner, it feels like it has to be Wardlow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because as you said, it would let all the steam out of the Undisputed Kingdom if Wardlow loses this match to Samoa Joe. So I see some kind of bullshit finish, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So the Steven may be right. Maybe something involving Swerve, and then we get another triple threat match. I don't know.
I just feel like the matches we've seen Wardlow in recently haven't proven to the viewers, at least to me, that he is ready for a title run, for the heavyweight title run.
Yeah.
I just feel, I mean, he's just been having squash matches on TV for the last, 3 months or however long it's been since he's been back.
Well, he won the All-Star Scramble.
Well, yeah, and then he stood on the side, outside the ring for 10 minutes of that match.
Yeah.
That match, actually, I don't even know if it lasted 10 minutes, but a lot of the time of the match, 75% of the time that match was happening, he was standing outside drinking bottled water and getting his shoulders rubbed by Matt Taven.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know he was TNT champion, but that was a long time ago. I feel like he hasn't proven himself against other AEW talent to signify that he is ready for this title shot.
I get where you're coming from, but I don't know. I feel like, it's tough because it's weird. I don't know. I don't know. That's the answer I got to go with because I don't see them making Wardlow lose the match, but I also don't. I don't see them. I don't see him winning the world title this soon yet either.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Not much of an answer. Sorry about that.
Where's it going?
Really
We
don't
know.
Yeah. Usually I have a better answer
Yeah.
than that. I'm not sure at all. If I had to pick, I'm going to say, okay, Wardlow wins the world title. There we go. There's the definitive answer.
That's my pick also.
All right, so next, where's this going? Chris Jericho and Hook having each other's back, teaming up. What's going on here? Where's this going?
This is gonna sound bad.
Yeah, okay.
I don't care where this is going.
Really?
Like, couldn't care less. They just keep sticking people with Jericho. Like, by the time I understand Kenny is sick, and so that's a separate situation. But they stuck him with Sammy, and now Sammy's suspended, so they had to stick him with someone else, so they stuck him with Hook. Like, it seems like, one, Jericho's tag partners are cursed, and two, they're just, like, throwing darts, trying to hit something that's worthwhile, you know? I don't know. I think Hook and Orange Cassidy would be cool. I think Hook and Danhausen I was a fan of, because I am a fan of Danhausen. I just feel like Chris Jericho doesn't need to be in a tag team, and he doesn't need to be in a tag team with Hook.
You think they're going to enter the tag title tournament?
Oh my God, I hope not. But now that you have said that out loud, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
They're running out of tag teams. So I don't know how many tag teams. What's our guess on how many tag teams are going to be in this tournament?
No idea.
Well, yeah, that's why it's a guess.
Guess 16.
Yeah, they definitely. Well, they're bringing up Infantry from ROH, so I wonder if that means they're bringing up other tag teams from ROH. Because they don't have 16 ready-made tag teams.
No. But they can make some.
Yeah.
And
that's what they're doing with Hook and Jericho.
They can make some. So. They can have Ring of Honor people. Yeah.
Yeah, so where it's going story-wise, I don't know. I don't care. But now that you have mentioned the tag, I'm sure they're going to enter the tag tournament, now that you've said that. And I like that they're doing something with the Gates of Agony, although I think they're just going to lose to Hook and Jericho. I love the Gates of Agony. I wish they would stop using them as jobbers, because on Ring of Honor, they were like this unstoppable force, and they were the 6-man tag champs with Brian Cage, and it was awesome. And I feel like they've mishandled them. I guess they being Tony. I keep talking about him like it's more than one person. But Tony has mishandled them.
Well, there is a creative team now, though, kind of. So.
Well, now, but back then, I don't think there was it? Has there been a creative team for a while?
A little bit.
Oh, okay. Where do you think it's going?
Tag title tournament, and then from there, I don't know. I'm not sure why they're dead set on Chris Jericho being in a tag team, like you said. I'm not sure why he must be in a tag team right now, because the thing with Kenny was working. I'm not sure why that had to happen. Maybe just they wanted to work together. I don't know, but it was going good. I mean, Jericho and Omega were making a great team. The Golden Jets. I was enjoying it.
I thought it was to find a way to split Kenny off from the Bucks.
Yeah. And then of course Omega got sick, and then Guevara came in and kind of jumped in the feud, which made a little sense, you know. But now that the feud is kind of over, isn't it? Kind of.
What, between them and the Bucks?
The Callis family, Jericho and the Callis family. It's kind of over. Seems over. So he doesn't need anyone to jump in now. So I'm not sure why they're dead set on having him with a tag team partner. I don't understand. Maybe they're just doing it for the tag title tournament because they got to make some teams. That's my thought.
Yeah.
It's my best guess. All right. And speaking of which, where's this going? World Tag Team Title Tournament. It begins on Collision this week, and we have 4 teams officially entered: the Young Bucks, Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta, FTR, and the Infantry. So, out of those 4, you had to pick one of those 4. Who have you got winning?
The Young Bucks.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's not a great selection, though.
That's not a great selection.
No. Only 2 of them are a real tag team. As you know.
Yeah.
I prefer real tag teams to win the tag tournaments and the tag belts rather than makeshift tag teams where it's like single wrestlers. They don't have a tag team finisher. They're just put together for various reasons and then eventually are breaking up. But I love tag team wrestling. And I love it when they have a name and a theme and a move set, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It just makes it so much more meaningful. Like Ricky Starks and Big Bill, I was not a fan of that. That seemed thrown together, mismatched, and out of nowhere, you know? So one, I hope they're not entering the tag tournament. But I'd love to see Rey Fenix come back if he's well enough, you know, and have the Lucha Brothers on it.
They will not be in it. No,
Mm-hmm.
no. He won't be healthy in time. Okay. Yeah, no.
Well, Roosh and Preston Vance would be good. They've tagged a lot, or Dralistico and Preston Vance. We haven't seen Dralistico in a long time, or Preston Vance. One of the members of two of the members of Dark Order, I feel like would be good.
I'm sure.
The Guns, like I know they're part of the Ring of Honor 6-man, but the more gold, the better. Same thing for the Kingdom. I could see the Kingdom going for it, and just to get double belts, you know. Yeah. What's the ring? Not Ring of Honor. What's the House of Black tag team? What's the something about Black Throne?
The Kings of the Black Throne.
Kings of the Black Throne. Yeah.
Malachi Black and Brody King.
Mm-hmm. I'd be cool with that.
It's a good tag team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they got some great tag teams. I can't wait I want some brackets. I want some brackets to fill out.
He said we would have several brackets. Those were Tony Khan's words. And I am going to hold him to that. I want my brackets.
Some brackets.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to put some teams together and get some from Ring of Honor. So I'm sure the Righteous will be in it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Teams like that. But yeah, and they'll get some from Ring of Honor. And
I bet the Workhorsemen are going to be they stick them in the tag team title scene frequently.
I'm sure they will be. So if I had to pick out of those 4, yeah, same, I would pick the Young Bucks. So that's what we got for so far. Young Bucks, Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta, FTR, and the Infantry. And I'm sure as the weeks go on, we'll get more people entering, but that's all we have so far is 4 teams in. And they were hyping it up. World Tag Team Title Tournament. Can't wait. I love tag team wrestling. I love wrestling tournaments. I fucking can't wait for this. So awesome. This is what I wanted the whole time. I've been saying this for months. You watch our show. This is what I've been saying for how long?
Forever. It's what we've been saying.
I said I wanted Sting and Darby to face the Bucks and to beat them and ride off into the sunset as the champions, forfeit the titles, and have a tag title tournament. And that's just what we're getting. So great. I'm glad.
Ooh, Top Flight would be good.
Top Flight. Yeah,
I bet Private Party is going to be in it too.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So see, we're getting some.
We're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there. I mean,
Yeah.
we've got quite a number.
Mm-hmm.
There's not as few tag teams as you think.
Yeah. Plus, there's factions that you can make various combinations of tag teams in. Like, you can do some people from the Callis family together. Two of the 4 BBC, not BBC, BCC.
I see.
British Broadcasting Company is going to submit 2 tag team wrestlers.
The Acclaimed
Mm-hmm.
as well.
Yeah.
So, a lot of teams. So yeah, looking forward to that. All right. Where's this going? Kyle O'Reilly turned down the Undisputed Kingdom, said he's doing it on his own. What do you see with this comeback? Where's he fit into things?
My question for him is doing what on your own? Like, what is it that he's wanting? Like, he hasn't specified that at all.
Yeah.
Like, he hasn't been like, I'm back and I'm going to go after blah, 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 you know?
Right.
So it's cool that he's doing whatever it is that he's doing on his own. But it would be cooler if he told us what that was, like what he wants.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean,
agree.
I'm assuming he wants a title. I guess I could see him going after Roderick's title. Maybe. Just because friends turned foes could be an interesting story, you know? I don't know him well enough as a wrestler and as like a character to know how he would do against Christian, like on the mic. Because I feel like whoever goes after the TNT title has to be on or close to the same level as Christian or Edge, or Adam Copeland rather, whoever wins it in Toronto. I feel like they need to be able to have some equal discourse, you know. And I don't know enough about Kyle O'Reilly to know if he's there. You've seen more of him than I have? What do you think about that?
He's not the best on the mic. He's not like charismatic or doesn't really do anything for me. He's not the worst, not the best, you know.
I can say, like, from the interviews he's done with Renee,
yes,
I have like zoned out during them.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what he said because it seemed like he wasn't saying much of anything.
Yeah.
So I just kind of. And his shirt was so distracting.
Well, he's very much like wants to be just like a normal dude, but it's like
he's pulling it off. He looks like some schmo they pulled off the street.
That's like that's not what personally I want to see in pro wrestling. I don't want just normal dude. That's not interesting to me. Is it interesting to y'all out there? Is that what you want to see in wrestling? Just normal guy? That's not interesting to me. I mean, they don't need to be like, you know, Doink the Clown or anything, but, you know, just something different than just normal dude. It's not a very interesting gimmick to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm normal. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know where it's going. Like you said, maybe going after the international title with Roderick Strong might be a possibility. But the thing is, he did say he's friends with all those guys in the Undisputed Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Maybe he still would go after that belt. Or, as you said, could go after the TNT title.
Yeah, I feel like the international title makes more sense. Even if they are friends, you know, like, you're my friend, I love you, but I'm going to be the next champ. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Can't wait. I mean, he's a great wrestler, O'Reilly. Can't wait for him to come back and get in the ring. Great wrestler.
See, he got hurt, like, right when I guess not right when I started watching, but he was still with Bobby Fish when I started watching. So I haven't seen, like, many maybe a handful of matches of him solo.
Very good.
Because he was tagging for a lot of his AEW career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good. Very good. All right. Here's a simple one. Where's this going? Willow Nightingale pursuing the TBS title.
Oh my God, give it to her. Give it to her. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they're not going to, is my guess. But
Really?
I think she absolutely deserves the belt more than Julia Hart. One, the number of matches that she's wrestled, and the fact that she's been consistently wrestling weekly. She's great in the ring. People love her. She's like one of the only baby faces they have in the company.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be great to have the belt on her.
You don't think they're going to have her go over Julia Hart?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Julia Hart hasn't had the belt that long. And other than her like open house jobbery squash matches, she's had like I'd say 1 to 2 real matches defending her belt. Maybe just one. Who has she wrestled that's been like a possible winner besides like Abaddon? Has there been anyone?
Not really. Not anyone I can think of right off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's been someone. I think there's been maybe one more.
Yeah. So I mean, they could take it off her, obviously, but I don't think they're going to.
Wow. Okay.
Plus, she had that TBS hat made, the TBS title hat that I hate. I'm sure that was expensive, so they might not want to take it off of her just yet. Get more bang for their buck out of the hat mileage. What do you think?
I was thinking they were going to give it to Willow. Yeah. I was thinking it's her time. You know, she deserves a belt.
Oh, I completely agree. Yeah.
I think it seems like they're gonna give her a little of a push. You know, she's been getting interview time pretty regularly. She gets a promo at least once a week on TV.
You don't feel like those have been mostly focused on Statlander, though?
No, not necessarily. No. So yeah, I thought they were. I think they're gonna give it to her. So. And Hart, I don't know what's up with her. Is she injured? Well, I don't know why she wrestles so infrequently.
Yeah, she was injured.
Yeah. So I'm not sure why she doesn't wrestle now. So is she well now and just doesn't wrestle?
No, I think that her match at Revolution was like one of the first matches she was cleared to have after being injured. Like she was just injured recently.
Oh, at the 0 hour.
Yeah, when she's on 0.
That was not good. The 2 0 hour matches at Revolution were not good.
I liked them.
Not good. There's a 12-man tag, and then there's a women's tag, and then. Okay. Up next, where's this going? The New Elite. What do you think about it? The Young Bucks and Okada.
I mean, they have to go for trios belts, right?
You think so?
Yeah, unless the Young Bucks win the tag belts. But I mean, if you can have Jay White and the Guns versus, I guess they probably won't go after the ROH 6-man belts. I guess they would go after the AEW belts. So maybe I take that back. I can't see the Acclaimed and the Elite wrestling.
Why?
Because the Acclaimed are so silly and gimmicky. Yeah. I guess if they can have feuds with like House of Black.
The Elite are pretty silly.
They were, but now that Okada's with them, I'm hoping that they are less goofy than they have been. We'll see. We'll see how they handle it. I keep having mixed feelings about the Young Bucks EVP. I guess it's not a gimmick because they are actually EVPs, but like smarmy EVP gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
Like I keep undulating between like, oh, that's funny, to like, oh, this is stupid.
I like it. I think it's a good gimmick. I think it's working well for them. I think they need to ramp it up a little more.
Yeah.
They need to do some more things that actually have effects on matches and things like that, you know.
Yeah.
Instead of just these little things like talking to people in the hallway and shit like that. They need to do things that actually have effects on matches, you know. Booking matches, you know, things like that.
I think they need to start taking matches that have been booked
Right.
away from people and putting themselves in it instead.
And yeah, things like that.
Yeah. But I'd love to see Jay White and the Guns versus them. That would be good.
So you see them going for the trios belts? You don't think Okada's going to be a singles and the Bucks go for tag?
There's so many people already in the title picture. Like, I don't see him going after the TNT or the international title. Like, I think if he's, I'm taking it all back. I think Okada's gonna get Eddie's belts, and then the Young Bucks are gonna get the tag belts.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I forgot about it. I forgot those belts existed briefly. Yeah, that is definitely what I think is going to happen.
It's easy to forget that they exist because they're never defended.
Yeah.
Kingston never fucking defends them. He defends them once against Danielson.
No, he defended them against Commander.
Oh, did
he? On television.
How long ago was that? Months ago.
January?
Yeah, months ago. Terrible. He's been a terrible champion.
Yeah.
Just no fault of his own, but they've booked him as a terrible champion, is what I should say, you know. Just no title defenses. Two title defenses in months. No good. But yeah, I'm with you. I see Okada winning those belts for sure. Yes. Absolute 100%. That is what is happening. Yes.
Yeah. So that's where I think this is going.
Yeah. I'm glad you got to the same place as me eventually. Yeah.
Like I said, I forgot the Triple Crown was a thing.
A Continental Crown. This is called
Continental
now.
Crown. I'm sorry. Continental Crown.
All right. Got two more here. Where's this going? Mariah May dressing as Toni Storm. Where's it headed?
I don't know. I mean, is it headed anywhere?
I don't know. I mean, does
is that
she,
just a thing that she's gonna do sometimes because she loves Toni Storm so much?
Well, does she eventually believe she's Toni Storm? Does she keep getting more and more into it and believe she is Toni Storm and start to stealing her personality? That might be an interesting way to go with it.
That would be an interesting way to go with it.
Does she
become like a stalker obsessed fan.
Yeah.
That could be cool.
Do you go that way?
I mean, if it goes anywhere, I feel like one of the only places it can go. I don't know what you would do with that otherwise. Does Toni have other gimmicks from her past besides rock and roll Toni Storm that she could also imitate?
I'm sure she's had other gimmicks, yeah.
But not in AEW.
Not in AEW, no. Well,
I think what's good about this friendship or whatever, idol worshiper or whatever you want to call it, relationship that's been built.
She might have had one other gimmick in AEW.
Okay. That's obviously leading to an eventual Toni Storm Mariah May feud. I think. I mean, it seems pretty obvious that eventually it's going to get there, whether
Yeah.
it takes like a month or like a year. I think that it's good that they're building this because Toni Storm doesn't have to have the title for that feud to still be interesting. Like she can, if she's like becomes obsessed with Toni Storm and starts dressing like her and acting like her and taking over her personality, then it's not about the belt, it's about something else. And so I feel like that's a good direction for it to head into.
Mm-hmm. I think it would be better if it's over the belt, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, it doesn't have to be about the belt. Yeah, at all. Yeah, I get you.
When you have Serena Deeb and you're getting Mercedes Moné, you're not giving the belt to Mariah May yet, She's good. She's very good. But I don't know that she's Serena Deeb, Mercedes Moné good. Maybe.
Mariah May?
Yeah. We've only seen her in jobber matches for the most part.
I think she's better than Mercedes Moné.
I haven't seen Mercedes Moné wrestle in like years.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think she's better than Mercedes Moné. I think Mariah May is very good, I think. She's one of the best in AEW, I would say.
Yeah, but do you remember like those Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair matches?
And they were good.
They were good.
They were good, yeah, but I'm just telling you. I think Mariah May. I think if those matches were Charlotte Flair versus Mariah May, they would have been even better. So.
All right.
Anyways, okay, last one. Well, my question was, what's in Adam Copeland's spike box? That's my last question, and you already kind of answered it for me.
Yeah, sorry.
And you said it's what again?
So it looked like a stained wooden handle, like a wood stain, like a medium grade wood stain handle that was like an axe handle kind of length. And then it had these like metal bristles, almost like you would see on a grill brush to like scrape the gunk off your grill, those like metal brushes.
Yeah.
Except the bristles were longer and it was like bigger. And then again, this was from someone at ringside taking a picture from the front instead of the camera angle that was from the back, looking at the hinge of the case. This was looking into the opening of the case. So I don't know if that's like actually what they want to have in there when he finally like unveils it, but that's what the picture showed was in it. From Wednesday? That was Wednesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Weird. All right. So that is, where is this going? So now we are going to do the top five. The top five. AEW top 5 weekly rankings are 100% proprietary. They are 100% accurate. And we will 100% never give away our formula. We will take it to our watery graves. So these are the AEW rankings for March 11th, 2024. What are we doing first? Men, women, or teams?
Let's do teams.
Teams. Number 5, the team of Mark Briscoe, Jeff Jarrett, and Jay Lethal. Number 4, the Kingdom, the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. Number 3, Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli of the Blackpool Combat Club. Number 2, the Elite, debuting pretty high there. And number 1, because their big win on Collision, the House of Black. So number 1, House of Black. Number 2, the Elite. Number 3, Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli, I guess because their Revolution win over FTR. Number 4, The Kingdom. And number 5, Mark Briscoe, Jeff Jarrett, and Jay Lethal. Even though they lost to House of Black on Collision. So what's next? Men or women?
Women.
Women. Number 5, Riho, who defeated Chris Statlander this week. Number 4, Deonna Purrazzo, the former number 1 contender who lost to Toni Storm at Revolution, but looks like she's getting another shot. Number 3, Mariah May, who beat someone this week. Who she beat? Trish Adora.
Yes.
She beat Trish Adora and looked great doing it. Number 2, Thunder Rosa, who beat Angelica Risk and looked great doing it. And number 1, the AEW Women's World Champion, Toni Storm, who successfully defended her title at Revolution against Deonna Purrazzo. So that's number 1, Toni Storm. Number 2, Thunder Rosa. Number 3, Mariah May. Number 4, Deonna Purrazzo. Number 5, Riho. And for the men, number 5, Bryan Danielson. After getting the win over, who did he face on Collision?
Was he facing the guy from CMLL? I don't remember.
Oh, no, he beat Shane Taylor.
Oh, that's right.
Number 4, Roderick Strong, the AEW International Champion, who won the belt from Orange Cassidy at Revolution. Number 3, Wardlow, the number 1 contender to the world title. That's coming at number 3, though, on our list. He won the All-Star Scramble match at Revolution. Number 2, Will Ospreay, who beat Konosuke Takeshita at Revolution in a 5-bone match. And then on Dynamite beat Ring of Honor World Television Champion Kyle Fletcher in a 5-bone match as well. It's amazing. And number 1, the AEW World Champion Samoa Joe successfully defended against Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page at Revolution. So that's number 1, Samoa Joe. Number 2, Will Ospreay. Number 3, Wardlow. Number 4, Roderick Strong. And number 5, Bryan Danielson. And this has been your top 5 rankings for this week. And now we have the ever-popular segment, Wrestling Fashion Do's and Don'ts with Kay Fabulous.
Okay, so my phone is at 6%, so we'll see if I can make it through before it cuts it off. So,
Do.
if you are the Machine, do come out in a white leopard print lined cape and sporting Swolverine gear like Brian Cage.
Don't.
If you're making your big comeback, don't wear a tan splatter-dyed t-shirt that makes it look like you just finished mowing the yard like Kyle O'Reilly.
Do.
If you have Cero Miedo, do come out in a totally badass Venom mask like Penta.
Don't.
If you are a wrestling auntie, don't show up to work looking like you are wearing the top half of an 80s bridesmaid dress like Renee Paquette.
Do.
If you are a Starlet's #1 fan, do show up in her rock and roll gear showing your admiration like Mariah May.
Don't.
Unless you are heading to a construction site, don't wear boxy clear frames that look like safety glasses like Roderick Strong.
Do.
If you are presenting the first ever Tony Award, do wear an Oscar-worthy 1920s style silver beaded 2-piece ensemble like Toni Storm.
Don't.
If you are young EVPs pushing for professionalism, don't make your entrance wearing robes that look like a better fit for the bathroom than the wrestling ring, like the Young Bucks. And that is this week's fashion do's and don'ts.
Thank you, Kay. We appreciate it every week. All right, so now it's time for the AEW News Roundup. Where's your start? Okay. All right. Sting took to X to thank Tony Khan for his retirement run. Sting posted, quote, "Still on cloud nine from last Sunday, but it would not have been possible without Tony Khan. Thank you for the last 3+ years, for your friendship, for everything. Thank you, Tony." Earlier in the day, he also thanked Darby Allin, calling him, quote, "the best tag team partner I ever had." Sting heading off into the sunset. And he also said that he had no interest in being a producer
Or manager.
or a road agent or anything like that. Yeah, manager. So who knows? Yeah, I think he'll be involved in AEW in some way in the future, but not day to day. I think he's done with wrestling day to day, being part of his life every day. Last Sunday's AEW Revolution is headed towards being one of the top 3 pay-per-views AEW has put on. Dave Meltzer reported he believes the final number for pay-per-view buys will end up in the 170,000 to 176,000 range. He says he will know more by Thursday. AEW's top pay-per-views of all time are number 1, All Out 2021, 205,000 buys. Number 2, All In 2023, 200,000 buys. And number 3, Revolution 2022, 175,000 buys. The date has been announced for Battle of the Belts 10. It will take place April 13th at Truist Arena in Highland, Kentucky. It will air immediately after AEW Collision. Working with the Elite was the deciding factor in Okada signing with AEW. Even though he wanted to be part of a WrestleMania, Okada feels his best chance for success is in AEW. Another factor influencing Okada was the trust he has in Tony Khan, who signed him to a reportedly multi-million-dollar deal for multiple years. It was Khan's idea, along with the agreement of Okada, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks, to debut Okada as a heel, with the rivalry with Omega continuing when Omega returns from his bout with diverticulitis. Cannot wait for that. Matt Hardy posted on X thanking the AEW fans. Looks like he's on his way out of AEW. Hardy recently confirmed his AEW contract is up this month. He has recently shared his complaints about how he and his brother Jeff have been booked the past few months.
Rightly so.
Yeah, rightly so, yeah. So, Paul White recently said his transition to AEW is, quote, probably the single greatest thing, end quote, to happen to him. He said, quote, now at my stage of the game, to find myself useful in a company that allows me to spread a lot of my knowledge to the younger talent, get a chance to get on the microphone every now and then and enhance them, help their characters along, and then get in the ring and mix it up, it's probably the single greatest thing that could ever happen to me. Mike Santana is excited for his future after his AEW departure. He said, quote, there comes a time in life where you have to make decisions and take a bet on yourself. He has been working in House of Glory in the Northeast and some other independent promotions. Rey Fenix is returning to the ring. He will be working for House of Glory Sunday, May 5th in Jamaica, New York. He will also be, of course, returning to AEW. We believe very near that date, if not before it. He may end up returning in AEW before that date, but That's the earliest date he has set right now. Collision announcer Kevin Kelly was fired by AEW. Hooray.
Yay.
I'm not usually glad about people's firings, but man, he's terrible. Kelly sent out an X last weekend accusing Ian Riccaboni of libel, and that's the reason he got fired.
I hope they replace him with Ian Riccaboni. I loved it when he was doing Collision.
Yeah, because Ian Riccaboni posted something on Discord about Kevin Kelly promoting a QAnon movie, Sound of Freedom, I think it's called, or something like that. I think it's about like human trafficking or something like that.
Don't look at me, I don't know.
But yeah, it's like it's like a conspiracy theorist movie. Kenny Omega provides a health update. On his Twitch stream Thursday, Omega said his recovery has been 2 steps forward, 1.5 steps back, noting he recently underwent an emergency treatment. It's been really touch and go. He is still not sure if he will need surgery, so he can't currently give a timeline for his return. Dynamite following Revolution drew its lowest viewership since October of last year. Very surprising if you saw the show, because it was a great show. Averaged 779,000 viewers, down 5.2% from last week. Drew a 0.27 in the 18 through 49 demo, down 6.9% from last week. So AEW has to do something about its television numbers and its attendances. I don't know what they're going to do.
Was it up against something big? I was trying to think
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Normally the articles will say if there's like something big they're up against, but this one didn't mention anything.
Mercedes Moné opened up about a variety of topics on the Kick Rocks podcast, including what we can look forward to in her future. She said, quote, "I've been making some really big moves, big business moves, and big money moves." She also announced that she has some music coming out later this year and some more acting projects. Tony Khan has been wanting a Danielson versus Ospreay AEW Dream match. The build started Wednesday, and the match is set for AEW Dynasty on April 21st. Lex Luger says WWE allowed him to attend Sting's final match. I guess he has a legend contract with WWE. But he had to be off camera. We saw him. He was wheeled in front of us.
Yeah, he was sitting like right underneath us.
Yeah, very sad. Lex Luger having to be in a wheelchair. Very sad. AEW Revolution did over $1 million gate for Sting's retirement match, and merchandise sales brought in $349,000. Samoa Joe versus Wardlow for the AEW World title is at big business. Adam Copeland versus Christian Cage for the TNT title in an I Quit match in Toronto on the March 20th Dynamite. Jim Ross signed a new contract with AEW for another year. He believes it will be centered around pay-per-views, noting that they are adding pay-per-views. Per Sports Illustrated, AEW Revolution main event had a Plan B finish if Darby couldn't continue after his glass spot. Special safety measures were taken for the spot, including a rehearsal earlier than usual in the day, and a stunt coordinator instructed how to place the items and reviewed the proper protocols. There were also doctors nearby on high alert. And Darby ended up needing 12 stitches in his back for the spot. It's a pretty scary spot to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy Guevara suspended by AEW for the second time. He was suspended after not following proper concussion protocol. in his no DQ match against Jeff Hardy on February 14th. His first suspension was in 2020 for insensitive comments he made in 2016, started spreading on social media. Greensboro, North Carolina declared every March 3rd going forward as Thank You Sting Day. Pretty awesome. And hey to Dylan, as he says hey to us there.
Hey.
Tony Khan announces tournament for vacant AEW tag team titles. That starts, of course, on Collision this week. And Jay White versus Darby Allin is set for Big Business.
That's nice.
So, folks, this has been AEW Weekly. Kay's phone died. That's why we're having to do this. So thank you very much for watching. I know we had a lot of new viewers tonight, so we appreciate that.
Make sure to hit subscribe
Yep.
so you don't miss any other videos that we put out.
Yeah, please like this. Hopefully you liked it. So if you liked it, hit the like button. That makes a big difference. Believe it or not, it makes a very big difference for us. So please hit like. And yeah, subscribe, because we do other videos. We're going to start having some other videos that aren't just this AEW Weekly show. We're going to start having some more content as well. So subscribe, and you will get notified when that stuff comes out as well.
And we do watch-alongs on some Wednesdays and every Saturday for the most part for Dynamite and Collision, and the occasional retro watch-along.
Yep. And yeah, we may be on a Dynamite watch along on Wednesday. We'll definitely be on a Collision watch along on Saturday. That will be right here on our channel, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch. We're doing that with our friends over at Last Week in Wrestling. Dylan over at Last Week in Wrestling. Doing the Collision watch along Saturday. So tune in for that. And as I said, we may do Dynamite Wednesday. I think we will. So tune in. And I think we'll be on the Dynamite watch along Wednesday night.
You can follow our X accounts and we'll let you know.
Yeah, we'll always have stuff on our X accounts about what we're going to do when. And, we post news there as well. And I post my thoughts there as well. So follow our X account. We're pretty active on there. If you just have questions or just want to talk wrestling, just get at me. We could talk wrestling too. That's fine too. So that's cool. But yeah, this has been AEW Weekly. We do it every Monday night at 6 p.m. It's live. And tomorrow the audio only version will be available wherever you can get podcasts. It's always available on Tuesdays. Yeah.
As McFoley would say.
As McFoley would say, have a nice day.